I think for the Raiders to win games, their offense is going to have to step up. But I will say this, right? I think from a roster perspective, this is the best roster I've seen the Raiders have in 20 years. Like, I don't know any roster in the last 20 years that was better, right? Even in 2016 when we won all those games and made the playoffs, I don't think our roster was as good back then as our roster is today, right? I think overall the roster is a lot better, and it's a lot deeper too, right? We have good problems. We have guys we might not be able to pay, but they're legit players, right? That's a really, really good problem to have.
I think this draft, we scored big all throughout the draft. I think the undrafted free agents, we've got some gems there. I'm rooting on Woo Governor, super tough. Had him on the show, fantastic kid. We DM back and forth probably every other day. Just keep checking on him. He's locked in. Okay. Trey Taylor, no way he should have been taken in the 7th round. He should have been at least third. But the only reason why he was taken in the 7th is because he played for Air Force. But the dude literally won the award for being the best DB in college football. And little bit of sugar on top of that, in minicamp, he was awarded Defensive Player of the Day, which no other rookie got that award. Big ups to him. He's doing big things, getting ready to go and hit this training camp and stuff. I'm just really excited about the depth that the Raiders have, especially on defense. It's been our Achilles heel for 20 years. We've had no defense, right? And now we have a defense. Yes, we do need to go out and prove it this year. That last year, for the teams, they weren't playing that well, but like Devontae says, they're still NFL teams. I don't care what you say. Right. So I think defensively, we're as deep as we've ever been, talented as we've ever been in the past 20 years. Yep. So I'm really excited for that. And I think if you look at the Club Shay Shay interview with Devontae Adams, where he's talking about the dink and dunk offense of McDaniels and how it takes you 10 first downs to get to the end zone. And that's just not a winning formula in today's NFL unless you have a Tom Brady and all the supporting cast and you have literally like mathematicians as linemen to run it, which that's not what the Raiders had. And, like he said in it, you get 3 first downs in the NFL and you're in the end zone. It shouldn't take you 10.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing with the NFL today. It's different than it was 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. Today, teams are 3, 4, 5 plays just scoring a touchdown.
Exactly.
Right. And back then it was like, in my opinion, the Josh McDaniels offense, and there's a lot of offenses that are like that still, even in today's NFL. The thing is, you're not going to have those games where you're going to be able to score a lot of points because turnovers always happen. Incompletions on third downs always happen. 3rd and 2 is a great spot to be in. Right? If you're in 3rd and 2 30 times in a game, that's great until you throw that incompletion on 3rd and 2, and then you got to punt the football.
Yep.
Right. I didn't finish the Devontae Adams interview, but I did see that segment, and I think it was a different segment where he also was talking about how you can. It might have been the same segment, but where he was talking about how you can get 3 completions or 3 first downs, you're in the end zone.
Yeah.
Right. And that hits so differently when let's be honest, Andy Reid's a great coach. He does that, right? Maybe not as much now as opposed to what he did when he had Tyreek Hill, but the Chiefs are scoring 30 points a game, right? And Tyreek Hill, one play, it's a touchdown. I don't feel like the Raiders were able to do that. They might be able to do that this year, right? If Luke Getsy gets everything going right and, you get Brock Bowers involved, Trey Tucker gets involved, you might be able to have those type of offensive plays, but we do got to get to that point.
And that's what Devontae said in that Shay Shay interview was that, this Luke Getsy offense is essentially the exact same thing from Green Bay. Even the verbiage is the same. And he's excited because it's a big play, explosive offense.
Right.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and take Devontae's word for that because he's the expert in big play, explosive offense. And when he says that's what Luke Getsy's bringing to the table, when we pulled Luke Getsy over and the whole Cliff Kingsbury fiasco blew up in our face, at first, I was disappointed. I was upset about it. I want that big play, explosive offense. That's what the Raiders need. I think Aiden O'Connell is perfect for that. You don't want Aiden O'Connell sitting back there, throwing the ball 15 times just to get to the end zone because now you're setting him up to get sacked. If he can chuck the ball 40 yards down the field, which he's very good at doing, then that sets us up for success for him, because now he's not having to be out there as much as he was last year under McDaniel's offense. So I didn't think that that's what we were going to get with Luke Getsy, but according to Davante Adams, that's exactly what we're going to get. And then to go on top of that, Michael Mayer in his press day said the same thing, that it's going to be a whole different offense and it's going to be very explosive and dynamic.
Yeah, and I do hope that happens, right? I know players are telling us this is what's expected out of the offense. I personally don't buy into that, right? I need to see it actually happen, right? Because, when Luke Getsy gets in there, he's telling everybody, hey, this is our strategy. We're going to take these deep shots. We're going to run plays designed to do this and that. But at the end of the day, you also got to execute those plays. Those plays also have to be designed well. And the offensive line has to hold up. The quarterback has to be able to make those passes. The receivers have to be able to run those routes. I want to see it actually happen, because I watched Luke Getsy last year, and I'm not the only one that has this perspective of Luke Getsy, right? If you hear any negative criticism of Luke Getsy, it'll be the same 2 or 3 things, which is he ran way too many screen passes in bad situations too, right? Like 3rd and 12, and they just call it quick screen pass. And it wasn't even like a creative screen pass, right? It's like a straight basic screen pass. And it didn't work, right? Like his offense did not work with the Bears. Now, some people will say maybe that's because of Justin Fields. And that is possible, right? And also you do got to keep in mind the Bears were tanking in Luke Getsy's first season that he was there. So, maybe that had to do with Luke Getsy not being able to have that success. But I want to see him prove it, right? Because I think if Kyle Shanahan was with the Bears for the past 2 seasons and he had Justin Fields, I think Kyle Shanahan would have had more success, right? Because I think Kyle Shanahan's the best, or one of the best, offensive coaches in the NFL.
Davante has made excuses for Luke Getsy, saying that, the supporting cast in Chicago wasn't a right fit for Luke. And the cast that we have here with the Raiders is. Okay, like you said, I'm with you. Like, I can't wait to see it get proven. I want to see it. But here's the one thing that I do know, like when it comes to the deep shots, Aiden O'Connell's pretty darn good for being as young as he is.
Yep.
And he did it over and over again last year with Trey Tucker and Davante. And now we have an addition of Brock Bowers, and then we also have Michael Mayer. So now it's like a pick your poison. Like I was talking to Wu Governor, and I was asking him, so far in OTAs and minicamp, who do you think is going to stand out as far as our offensive weapons go, and you're a defensive player? Like who are you most as a defensive player worried about? And he's like, dude, pick your poison. Like it doesn't matter. Right. Like if a team tries to double Davante, Brock Bowers is going to blow them up in the middle. Right. And Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker will just run 40 yards for, a deep out and a go route. And like, it's a pick your poison type of offense. He's like, I've never seen this much talent on one team on that side of the ball ever. And the same thing for the defense too. Cause he was talking about our defensive line is absolutely disgusting. Like they are nasty.
Right.